Well, hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail. You're very welcome to the programme, and we're away out in the sticks here near Crumlin village, and we're actually at the old ancient church of Camlin, which is near Crumlin. And this ivy-covered church was once the principal church of the deanery of Clondermott, believe it or believe it not. Excuse me. So this church goes back to beyond 1306, when it was mentioned in the tax record of the local diocese as the Church of Camlin. And it's absolutely fantastic, isn't it? You can see the way the ivy's growing around it. It's nearly smothering it. Big bit of history here, folks. Isn't that amazing? Although the church had been decaying for centuries, it was actually still used in 1661. So it was. And the register of the Diocese of Connor tells us that that is when one Andre Eaton was ordained as a deacon by the Bishop of Down and Connor, who was none other than Jeremy Taylor. Bishop Jeremy Taylor. I've covered his grave, of course. It was him who built loads of churches, but it was him who built the cathedral in Dromore in the 17th century, where I live. And he's buried in that cathedral, Dromore Cathedral in County Down. So I've covered his grave there. Now, of course, Bishop Jeremy Taylor was a brilliant scholar, writer and orator, and he had been chaplain to King Charles I. But he was certainly opposed to Presbyterianism. He didn't like the presbyteries. And ironically, the blame for the church's final destruction has been laid at the door of Charles' son, James II. Whenever his Jacobite troops, who were based here in 1689, destroyed this church, probably so that the enemy couldn't get it and make use of it. So this was during James's unsuccessful campaign in Ireland to defeat the forces of King William III, his son-in-law, the Prince of Orange, and to regain the throne of England that William had just taken. So I'm going to take you in here. I have to watch that I don't break my neck, because as you can see, it's very grey up. And you can see I've got my wellies on today. I had to. The farmer's wife advised me to wear my wellies, and she was right. Look at that. My goodness. It's like a jungle. So the two armies met on the 1st of July 1690 at the River Boyne at the village of Oldbridge, which is near Drogheda. And the outcome of the battle, of course, saw James's army defeated and James himself fleeing to France to King Louis XIV. The war itself, however, would actually drag on for another year, with the Jacobites being defeated at Antrim in 1691. You think maybe that's a wee chimney, but I don't think it is, because it doesn't go right up. So I'm not sure what that was, to be honest. Now, the war would finally come to an end with the surrender of the Jacobites at the Treaty of Limerick in Limerick City. and that was on the 3rd of October 1691. However, many who were left of the Jacobite army were allowed to depart to France in what became known as the Flight of the Wild Geese. So try and get over here and let you see a bit more. As you can see, it's covered with ivy. There's a trees come down as well. Thankfully, the old church is still standing. A lot of nooks and crannies here. As you can see, I will try and shine a bit of light on the matter. So not a big lot to see, unfortunately. But a big connection here with the Jacobites, King James II, and also King William III, and the Williamite Wars in Ireland, including the Battle of the Boyne, 1690. You would need a streamer for that. But then there's not too many people actually get to see this because it's on private ground. Although the farmer's wife said it would be okay for me to tour away, which was very kind of her. So big thumbs up, madam. Thank you. This is my third go to try and get in and see this church. The first time the cows were in the field, so I didn't want to go in case they charged me. And then the second time I came, it was very wet. It was like a quagmire, and I had my wellies with me. So I've come today on St. Patrick's Day, and thankfully I've managed to see this old church eventually, and well worth seeing. I mean, it's once in a lifetime. I'll never really be back here like to see this again. But now I have it in video, which is awesome. And of course, a lot of people don't realise it, but not only was James William's father-in-law, but he was also William's uncle. William's uncle was called Mary, just like William's wife, and she was actually William's mother. Sorry, was called Mary, just like William's wife, but she was actually the sister of King James II. So they certainly believed in keeping it in the family. Isn't that amazing? Still a right wee bit of it left. There's a river just beyond there. So you can see a bit more in here, a bit more freedom of movement, not as many, not as much growth here. Hard to believe that once this was a thriving church. It's still thriving today, only it's thriving with insects. So that was the part there we were in. Beyond those, just where the wall is there. So this is the other half, with the brambles, of course, in between. Not amazing. So we're almost finished. And of course, a lot of people won't realise this either, but William III was actually very fond of chocolate, drinking chocolate. There was no bars of chocolate in his day, but there was drinking chocolate. Chocolate had been invented, and most people in the society during those days would have drunk chocolate going to bed, hot chocolate going to bed. It would have been very bitter. There would have been no sugar or nothing in it, but they seemed to like it nonetheless. And William certainly liked it, because most people just had a cup going to bed. He had a cup in the morning for breakfast as well when he woke up. Don't know if James drunk the drinking chocolate, but William certainly did. I would assume that James drunk it too. You can see the vine there. So, almost finished, folks. Just hang with me. So there you go. That is us done and dusted. And that is your ancient church of Camlin, near the village of Crumlin. So thanks for watching, and God bless.